Thank you. Great, okay. All right. So today we are going to start on our spine, grabbing our yoga strap. And with this cooler night, you might decide to keep your socks on a little bit longer. So come into your reclined position, plant your feet into the mat, keep your strap just outside your mat or handy. Take your arms nice and wide, shoulders roll back. A slight tuck of your chin to find some length in your neck. And then allow your knees to rest in towards each other. Thank you for being here this evening. And as always, go at your own pace. It is a gentler practice, but if you feel like you need to hold or have a longer rest, please honor that for yourself. You can either start to take the eyes, close them, or maybe take the gaze towards the top of your mat, maybe looking to the tip of the nose. Then start to take a couple of deep breaths. Maybe allowing some sighs to come out of the mouth. Start to take your arms nice and long to the back of your mat. Maybe interlace your hands. If that feels good, or you can always cactus the hands instead. And then as you start to heel toe your feet in a little closer, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. And then slide out that left leg so that you're in this half lotus. So your right knee is working down to the mat. Your left leg is nice and long. Opening up through the hip, finding space through the ribs, softening our shoulders. And then allowing the tongue to come to the roof of the mouth. To remind ourselves to let go of tension in the face and the jaw. Breathing into that right side, that hip area, trying to make sure that both sit bones, both glutes are on the mat. Get a little longer on your inhale as you reach your arms to the top of your mat. Feel as if you're anchoring down with your sit bones. And then scoop that knee up into your chest. Interlace your hand around your knee or your shin. Just take a little rock from side to side. Lengthen that leg long to the top of your mat. Interlace your hands again. Reach them overhead. Point your toes. Plant both feet back into the mat. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Take your arms overhead again. Find any expression of the upper body. And then start to slide out your right leg, drawing your left knee down, and that half lotus flex through both feet. So we're opening up through that left hip. Taking long belly breaths here, maybe switching back to in and out of the nose, Ujjayi breath. Start to scoop that left knee into your chest, give it a squeeze, rock it from side to side. If you find that the other leg is starting to roll out, maybe you want to plant that foot down so that you can anchor with your lower back, anchor down with the glutes. And then we'll plant that foot down. Both feet can be planted, knees can be bent. Take your arms overhead. Start to arch in the back, press your shoulder blades, lift your heart. Find some space between your lower spine and the back. Cactus the arms as you bend into your elbows. And take 2 breaths of the heart. Okay, this is where we'll want to grab our yoga strap, maybe take our socks off so that we're a bit more supported. Grab the strap and loop it around the right ball of the foot. Take your leg up to the sky. If you don't have a strap, you could always just extend your leg and bring your hands behind your thigh instead. And then start to draw that thigh in towards your chest. And a little movement, press your heel back to the top of your mat. So this little swing, drawing the thigh in, and then pressing the heel back. So little movement forward and back. Try to soften your right shoulder down. Notice if that bum cheek starts to lift off. Try to still keep it rooted. And then we're going to open up to the right. So take that leg nice and long out to the right, flexing with the foot. Still a little bend into your knee so that we're not overextending. Working into that hip mobility. Let's lift it back to center. Open up again to the right. Lifting back to center. And then we're going to do that one more time. Open up to the right. And lift back to center. This time lift your head and your shoulders off the mat. Climb up your strap. Slowly start to come back down. Find your core. Open up to the right again. Lift it to center. Climb up your strap. Find your core. Lower yourself down. Last time. Open up to the right. Lift back to center. Reach for the toes, climbing up your strap, and maybe float your opposite leg as well. Bring that big toe in towards its opposite. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Plant the left foot. Let's switch sides to make an easy transition for yourself as you bring your left foot into the strap. Take a big inhale. And exhale, soften your shoulders. Bring your strap into just your left hand if you can. Draw the thigh in towards your chest. Find your edge. That side's not as happy as the first side. And then press your heel to the top of your mat. And then move through that a few times. So your breath is going to be your guide as you draw in and as you press away. Notice if you shifted any of your tension to the neck, jaw, or the shoulders. And draw that thigh a little closer in. Open up to the left side. Start to root down with your right glute. Maybe you can bring your right hand to the hip to remind yourself. And then lift the leg to center. 2 more times like that. Opening up to the left. Crossing through your heel. Lifting back to center. And open. And lift back to center. And lift ourselves up. Walk up our strap. Reach for the toes. Find your core. And walk down the strap. Nice and safe at the neck. Open to the left. Bring it back to that midline. Walk yourself up. Walk back down. Open up to the left. And then one more like that. Walking up that strap. Holding it there. Float your opposite heel. Flex both feet. Relax your shoulders. And then lower your right foot first. And then remove the strap. And then start to windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Okay, so feet are planted in the mat. Walk your heels in towards your glutes. Bring your hands face down. Little pelvic tilts, just rocking the pelvis forward and back, squeezing the glutes, drawing everything up to your crown, engaging that pelvic floor, pressing through your big toe and your baby toe and your heel. And then if you feel like those hamstrings are warmed up enough, you can lift your hips into bridge pose. And then lower one vertebrae at a time, back into the mat. You can move through that a few times. Protecting your lower back, so engaging front abdominals. And that lumbar spine. So moving through that a few times on your own. Let's start to incorporate upper body. Reach your arms overhead as you lift your hips. Open through the chest. And lower back down. Let's do that 2 more times together. Lift the hips, reach your arms. And lower. And one more. Lift. Big inhale. And lower. Take your legs long to each corner of the mat. Take your arms nice and long to the top corners. Find your star. Reach nice and long through your fingertips. Point your toes. And then draw your knees wide to your armpits. Start to take a little rock from side to side. Massaging that. Lower back again. Then we're going to take our arms up to the sky like we're holding something right in front of our chest. Slide your knees slightly away from your chest. Pick up your heels so that you're in this reverse table. And then we're going to start to pedal our feet here. So a little bit of core, but you're going to probably notice the top of that quad nice and strong. So pedaling your feet. You're riding a bike. So your feet are still facing the top of your mat, not the sky. And then change direction. It always feels a little awkward at first. Protecting the lower back, again, anchoring down with the navel. And then pause at center. From here, take one leg to the top of your mat and the opposite arm is going to reach overhead. And then we'll drop it in and then we'll switch. So if you find this is too much to extend your leg to the top of your mat, another option is tap the toe and then bring the leg back. So opposite arm, opposite leg. You really want to fire up the core. Maybe you're going to lift your head off and your shoulders off. We do one more on each side. And then hug your knees in. Okay, I think we're going to get the hard work done first in our practice today. Take your knees away from each other, make circles in your hips. And change that direction. And bring the knees back in. Roll to one side or take a little rock so you can come seated. And we'll take our legs out in a straddle. Find a little forward fold here, drop the head down. Maybe take a little rock of the head, no, from side to side. And releasing your neck. And then walk your hands over towards your right leg. And I always love to recommend placing a yoga block underneath your knee or just bending into your knee, draping yourself over that leg. Breathing into that lower back, to that side. Start to roll up. Keep your legs nice and wide. Take your hands behind you. Lift in your heart. And then walk yourself over towards that left leg again. Bend into your knee or place something underneath it. Drop your head down. Find your chest leading towards your thigh. And then find your breath down the spine. Our hands are framing our front foot. Feeling that bit of compression of our belly as it connects with our thigh. Start to walk yourself up and take your hands behind you. Lift your heart. Slightly tilt the head back. Take a couple sighs out of the mouth to soften your jaw. And start to bring your knees to your chest. Give yourself a big hug into rabbit pose. And then lifting our head above our heart. Okay, we're gonna face the long edge of our mat so that we have some space. And as we face the long edge, we wanna take our right leg out to the side. So setting up in a tabletop, our left hand's gonna walk underneath our midline, scooping that right arm up to the sky. This is a great option to place your yoga block underneath that supportive hand. Angle the toes, try to keep the toes of the knee that's bent untucked. And then just open up through your chest. And if this is too much to be on your knee, you could always come to seated and just take that arm up to the sky and bring your left hand in front of you. Take one more breath, big heart opener here. Look up to your fingertips. And exhale, draw that hand in. Keep your leg extended. Bring your hands directly under your shoulders. Round your spine. Tuck your chin. And then dip the belly low, lift your heart. So it's a cat and cow with that leg extension. Rounding your spine, tuck your chin. Lengthening through your crown, lift your heart, arch in the back. And one more, tuck your chin, round your spine. And lengthen. Now from here, we're gonna weave our left arm underneath our right and reach for your toes. You can either come through a bit of movement, reaching the arm up and then threading the needle, or if you're familiar with your rolling panda, you might want to come all the way down for a couple of breaths, bringing the temple down, walking the right hand out, weaving that left arm under. So you're opening up more through the shoulder. So again, option one was a little bit of movement, threading the needle. And then option two was just landing right there, holding for another 4 breaths. All right, we're gonna walk ourselves back to where we started. Draw that knee in, and then we'll switch sides. So left leg lengthens. The right hand's gonna walk underneath that midline, open up through your chest, take that arm up to the sky. Angle your toes. Softening the jaw and the back of the neck. Reach your fingertips and look up. And then exhale, lower that hand down, keep your leg extended again. Start with the rounding of your spine, tuck your chin, find your cat-cow, lifting the heart, a little arch in the back. Rounding through the spine. Lengthening through our crown. And one more, round your spine. Drop the belly, lengthen the crown. Maybe readjust your left hand so it's a bit more underneath your midline. Weaving your right arm underneath as if you're gonna thread that needle, take the arm up to the sky, or join me for that rolling panda as you fully thread that arm, come to your temple, left arm nice and long. Take one more long breath here. Slide that hand back underneath your shoulder. Slide that knee in and then send yourself back into Balasana, child's pose, so knees wide. Hands as long to the top of your lap, forehead down. Okay, we're slowly gonna come back up to table. And then we're gonna find our way to the top of our mat to a standing forward fold. Taking your feet maybe a little wider than you think you should. Allow your belly to rest on your thighs. A couple of long sighs out of the mouth. And then slowly start to roll up. And scoop the arms when you come to stand. Press our hands to our heart. We're gonna just come through a couple of our standing twists. So scoop your right arm back. Left arm reaches forward. Knees are still aligned. Hips are still aligned. We're looking over our shoulder. Reach a little further with the fingertips. Draw the hand back. Reach the arms up. Lift with your heart. And lift the heart to center. Open up to the left. Left arm back. Right arm forward. Keep reaching through your fingertips. And then bring it back to center. Open up through the heart. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do that again. Right arm reaches back. Look over your shoulder. Left arm reaches forward. Inhale to center. Palms together this time. Tap the nape of the neck. Reach back up to the sky. Open up to the left. Left arm back. Right arm forward. Reach it back to center. Palms together. Tap the nape of the neck. We're going to add on twist right. Right arm back. Look to your thumb if you can. Scoop it through center. As you come to center this time, come into a little chair. So tap the nape of the neck, bend into your knees. Lift back up and open to the left. Left arm back, right arm forward. Scoop it through center. Tap the nape of the neck, bend your chair. This time, take your hands behind you. Lift all the way up to stand. Keep lifting with your heart. Little back bend. Press your palms. And then exhale, hands to heart. Find your breath. Take an inhale. And exhale. Step back with our right foot. Find our warrior B. And maybe heel toe that front foot, finding our alignment. If the heel to arch alignment doesn't feel good, take a diagonal step so that you're making space from your lower back. Take your arms out, and we're going to reach forward and just bring the hand to the inside of your front thigh. Bring your right arm up to the sky. Front knee stays bent. Think about pressing your feet away from each other. Look to your big toe, lift yourself up. You can either step forward and switch legs, or if you're comfortable with just following my voice, pivot the left set of toes, pivot the right set of toes. So we're setting up facing the back of our mat now. Bend into your front knee. Find your warrior B, reach forward, and then bring your hand to the inside of your front thigh. So just change those legs, or you can just step to the top of your mat and switch legs. Roll through your back shoulder, your top shoulder. Keep reaching through your fingertips. Looking to your big toe, hug your core to lift you back up. Pivot those toes now to face the long edge of your mat. Slightly angle the feet out. Peace fingers to our hip creases. Lead with the heart. And then walk your hands down. Great option to bring our hands to our blocks. So finding that wide forward fold. Press through your heels, pick up your kneecaps, soften them back down. I know it sounds silly, but try it. Let go of tension in the knees, in the calf. Take a couple of sighs. Now we're going to make our way to the back of our mat first. So most likely it should be your right foot's at the back. You're going to pivot that right foot, pivot on your back, left leg, bring the knee down, keep your front leg long, working to the front of the shin, or pressing back and sitting over top of our heel, flexing our front foot into half splits. Little bend in the knee is going to protect it. Lifting with your heart. We'll walk our hands forward, planting the foot, tuck the toes. We're going to change directions on our mat. Lifting to the top of our mat. Lower your back right knee first, and then lengthen your front leg, finding your half splits. Again, toes can be pointed or foot can be flexed. Little bend to your knee, and lifting with the heart. Soften your shoulders. Take one more breath and send it to the back of those hamstrings. Bend into that knee. And we're going to come back to face the long edge of our mat. So tucking those toes and find that forward fold again. So maybe this time we're going to play around with walking the hands to the back of our mat, fingertip space there. Adding a bit more weight into our heels. Then bringing your hands back underneath your shoulders and heel toeing your feet in. So some of us might take that horse stance option, a wider squat on our hands or our forearms on our thighs. Or we can use our yoga blocks, unless you're comfortable with Malasana, to come on to our block in your yogic squat, toes angle out, knees over ankles, pressing our elbows into the inner thighs. You find that your heels are lifting, then maybe take option one of horse stance. And that's more of that medium squat, I'm going to call it. Can we find a bit of stillness here? Close the eyes and find our breath again. Slowly come into our forward fold. Just to release that bit of a twist that we had, or a bit of depression, I should say, that we had in our belly, coming to that forward fold. Okay, then we're going to come down to seated. I am going to recommend that you are seated either on a block or your bolster, just to bring the hips a little bit more forward. Take your legs out long front. And we'll come into a forward fold, but maybe we're not going as far as we usually can because we're lifted with the block. We don't want to, come out of this. Drop the head down, make your forward fold a bit more passive. Or you don't have to use the block and you can sit right on your sit bones, right on the mat. Roll up and out of our staff pose. Come off the block this time, bring it between your thighs. Bring your strap around the balls of the feet. Again, if you don't have a yoga strap or a block, and that's okay, just keep a bit of space between the thighs and start to come back into that forward fold with a bit of a grip around the strap. Out of that staff pose. Maybe we're with us, have a seated windshield wiper at our knees from side to side if you like. Find some stillness and grab your strap one more time. Take your strap so it's shoulder distance. Find your easy pose with the legs crossed or legs out nice and long. I'm going to start to come into that twist again that we did from standing. So we're going to look over to the right. Come back to center. Reach up to the sky. Round your spine, tuck your chin. Bring the strap out in front. Lift your head and your heart. Twist over to the left with the arms long. Bringing it back to center. Lift the heart. Round the spine. Let's do that again. Over to the right. Arms nice and long. Find a focal point. Let that be your spot that as we progress, maybe you're going to look past it. Come back to center. Open through the heart. Bring it back right in front. Twist to the left. Find that focal point again. Find that little marker in your home studio. Come back to center, round the spine. One more time. Over towards the right. Find your twist in the core. Draw it back. Lift the heart. Add that cat pose, tuck your chin around the spine. Lift the heart again over to the left. And back, center, round into the spine. And then you can remove the strap, because if you're like me and really pulling on the strap, your shoulders got a little bit of a workout. So roll through a few times. And then grab your block. I hope it's the last time we're using it. After this, you might agree that you want it to be the last time we use it tonight. So we'll find our straddle. Our block is right in the center. Going to use our core to keep us lifted. A little bend into our knees, because we're probably going to start to fire up those quads again. So you might have to bring that block so it's aligned with your ankle. Hands behind you. We're going to lift our heel and tap it over the block. And then we're going to switch sides. And then start to move from side to side. First thing that usually creeps up on us is our shoulders. So roll them down. Lift with your heart. Engage your core like we did in those bridge poses. So maybe it's an inhale and then exhale as you plant that heel back. Everyone's looking great. Do what you can. For 5, make sure you do both sides. For 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Complete both sides. And then find a forward fold. All right, we're gonna do one more for the legs, but your block is done. Block can go to sleep now. I'm gonna bring your strap around the right foot. Take your legs in to more of that narrow staff pose, and we're gonna lift our leg off and take that big toe inwards. Yeah, so we're taking our big toe in towards the opposite, nice and tall through the spine, breathing through the back of the leg. So we're feeling that wrap around to the outer hip. And then with the support of your strap, bring your foot back to center and then cross your ankle. See if you can come to your seated lotus pose. We did our lotus earlier from our spine. And if you feel like you need to reach for that extended leg, then move your strap to that extended leg instead. So my right ankle crosses over my left thigh, and then my strap comes around the left ball of the foot. Okay, if you have the strap around the left foot, leave it there. So we're just gonna switch sides, right leg lengthens. We're gonna lift that left leg, take that big toe in, feeling that outer part of that quad into that glute. Nice and tall in our spine again. Soften the grip a bit. And then bring that foot back, across our ankle. Find your forward fold and maybe loop the strap around the extended leg. Any pinching in your knee, you can always bring this foot to the inner thigh. Apologize, I forgot to mention that on my first side. I'm back on my more challenging side, so it was a good reminder. Start to roll out. Okay, I'm going to come onto my spine to demo the next pose. You might want to have a little peek before you come down. We're going to bring our right knee into our chest into a little cradle, but because we have the use of the strap today, I would say bring it around the arch of the foot first, and then bend into your knee, and then use that to draw your heel into your opposite hip. Or you could even bring it around your knee or your thigh and hug it in. So I'm going to demo that again. So if we have our leg long, we'll start on our right leg, we'll loop it around the ball of the foot like we did earlier, but this time as we bend the knee, bring your heel to your opposite hip, maybe loop the strap around the thigh for a bit more support to draw that leg in. Or if you have access, you could even come into a deeper bind by bringing your hands around, hugging it in, as long as you're not having stress to the neck. So decide where you need to be. We'll come to our spine, right foot. We're going to loop the strap, bring that heel over towards its left hip. Maybe come into that bind with hands, or keep using our yoga strap to hold it in. And we'll slowly release. And if you found that the strap made that more accessible, then just switch legs. Planting that foot down. As we switch sides, we're drawing that heel in towards our opposite hip, maybe using that strap to hug around the shin. Lower back connects with the mat. Softening the eyes and finding that deep belly breath again. Remove the prop if you're using it. Windshield wiper your knees from side to side. If there are any final postures you wish to take, maybe a supine twist, reclined butterfly, happy baby, you're more than welcome to take these next couple of breaths for yourself. Or maybe you need the longer reps, so come right into Shavasana if that's what you need. I'm going to come into a shoulder stance. If you like, you're more than welcome to join me. Legs up to the sky, tucking our elbows in. And then making sure our head and our neck stays neutral. Maybe progressing into cloud pose. And if you're in plow, try not to come all the way upright. Trying to stay on your spine. And find your way into your Shavasana. Allowing any thoughts that come up, allow them to float by. that your work here tonight is done. Giving yourself the permission to rest and to be gentle. Knowing that our practice doesn't end just on our mat. Take your practice off the mat with you. Continue to be the kind person that you are. Not just to others, but most importantly, to yourself. To seal in that message, take a big inhale. And exhale out. Inhale. And a big sigh out. Om Shanti Shanti. Om. Please honor this rest if you feel like you need to stay longer on your mat. If you are ready to move, start with little movement through the wrists, through the ankles. Rolling to your right side, into a little ball. Take one more moment just to appreciate the peace and the calm. Slowly coming to seated. Hands to third eye, Anahata chakra for intuition. Mouth and throat, Vishuddha for speaking our truth. And back to the heart, Anahata for compassion. Thank you for being here this evening and for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Namaste.